Feral Audio.
From Meltdown Comics in Hollywood, California, Harmontown is now in session. Oh, yeah. Please welcome to the stage the mayor of Harmontown, Dan Harmon.
Thank you. We have such an exciting show tonight. I really feel like, I feel like it could be good through no fault of my own.
I'm in a pickle here, Dan.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
See, it's already exciting. For those of you listening and not see, Jeff is literally in a pickle.
$5 subscribe to see me living inside of a pickled cucumber.
Yeah.
I popped the top button, the one that you button on a 2-button suit.
Right.
Does anybody here have a needle and thread on them? Seth, you do?
Yeah, it might be back in my bag.
Who you got one back there? Yeah. Does anybody know how to sew a button back on a suit?
Oh, he tricked you.
You do right there? I trust you. I do. All right, get up here. What's your name? Anna. Anna? Hannah or Anna? Hannah. Hannah, the seamstress, everybody. Dan, I hate to derail the show right off the bat, but this...
I thought you were going to keep going. Like, does anybody have connections in the garment industry that would be able to sell a good as new jacket? And then, does anyone know any? Is anyone able to launder money? And then he just like continues and like, because didn't he kind of trick us? Because he said, "Does anyone have a needle and thread?" We were excited. Because we thought we were going to see, like, sartorial Rambo. Like,
now, Hannah needs the person with the needle. Is it black thread, we hope?
Seth, you got it. Oh, no. I got to look through my bag.
Nobody has needle and thread? We got Hannah here holding the button like an idiot. I'm kidding.
No,
kidding, of course. I mean, like she's holding the bag here. You got the thread?
It might be in the bottom of my bag.
Seth.
I'm sorry.
Where's your bag?
It's in Fullerton.
Fullerton? Needle and thread is in Orange County right now? Uh-oh. What's happening over here?
this is already the worst podcast I've ever been.
No. Okay, now there's a needlepoint thing happening over here.
Oh, that's yeah.
Blue thread is fantastic. All right. Hannah, may I give you my jacket? Yes. I'm going to take my wallet and other pertinent things out of it. Say what? Thank you, sir.
Let's hear it for Mistrustful Mickey back there. He's our regular character. He's reminding all of us.
All right, Dan.
She'll take your phone. I've seen it.
What is your name, madam, who's got the needle and thread here? Heather? Heather, are you a needlepoint enthusiast over here? What's going on?
No, my friend is.
Your friend is? Is your friend...
How do you know she's your friend? Take it easy, Mickey. It's a general vibe. Yeah, but how do you define it? If she was on a railroad track and it was you or her? Mistrustful Mickey he's endearing.
All right. Hannah and Heather, everybody, they're gonna fix my jacket. What they're gonna do, Dan? They're not just fixing my jacket; they're saving Memorial Day.
I wouldn't think. Don't you unbutton it when you sit down anyway?
Yes, but
this is not business that was
no,
necessary.
but I have shit to do after the show. I can't be sewing buttons on.
Oh man!
I thought I would mine the vast resources of talent in our Harmontown audience.
This is fucked up. I guess you don't get paid to do the show, so that's fine. You were owed a little bit. You've farmed labor, and that's fine. Okay, so
Hannah, do you feel exploited right now?
No.
Will you be able to enjoy and listen to the show while doing this?
I mean, this is how I usually listen to podcasts.
Okay. This is how she listens to podcasts. She didn't expect to be doing it tonight.
Is there a shoe shine in the crowd right now? Because
does anyone know how to hydroponically harvest soy? Because we're so close to our moon colony at this point. Because Hannah could get started on a few jumpsuits after this.
We've returned back to our moon colony theory.
Yeah. Oh man, now more than ever. Now that it's getting to be election season. Yeah. Anyways, all right. So here's a segment that everyone loves called Green Room Antics. Okay. Everyone enjoys hearing about behind the scenes at Harmontown. So I needed a mint because I probably haven't brushed my teeth in 2 days. I can't remember, and that a mint will wipe that right out. And it's a perfect substitute for
hygiene.
It's the withdrawal of oral hygiene. 100% effective. So I asked. I said, "Does anybody have gum or a mint?" And then Dustin wasn't in the room. His girlfriend Elizabeth was. Elizabeth said, "I think Dustin has some mints." Dustin came in. Elizabeth said, "Dustin, do you have any mints?" And Dustin said, "Yeah, I have some Altoids. Can you give one to Dan?" And Dustin was like, "What? Why? Does your stomach hurt?" And Elizabeth starts laughing, and I don't understand what the hell's going on. So and she's like, "Does your stomach hurt?" And then Dustin leaves to go get the Altoids, and Elizabeth says, "Every time I have a stomach ache, Dustin gives me an Altoid, and I love him, so I pretend it helps my stomach ache." And I've never told anyone this until tonight, she said. So she's been conditioning him to believe that Altoids are for your stomach.
Dustin, do you think Altoids are for your stomach? Get out of here. Dustin Marshall, everybody.
The same reason you get a dinner mint after you eat at a restaurant, because the mint settles your stomach. But that's the logic.
No,
Since I was a child, that's what I learned.
This is for your.
So you think when you go to a restaurant and you get that little red and white stripy circle mint thing, that's for your stomach?
Oh, is it for your breath? Oh, I thought it was to settle your stomach.
Dustin Marshall, everybody. All right. Hey, who needs Letterman? What a show. By the way, I'm sure you've noticed, now that Dustin's out of the hooskow, you should all hide your cartoon money. He likes to wear that black and white striped shirt a lot. Don't put any pies on the windowsills. All right. So, anyways, So, God, I mean, I had so much to talk about. All right. So, you know how in Mad Max Fury Road, everybody's got their little designations, their little jobs. Like, there's the war boys and the other people. How do you get the guitar guy job?
You have to be fucking badass. Also, you have to not mind a lot of sand in your face because he's right out front.
Yeah, and he's relatively. Oh yeah, it did seem like he was blind. Yeah, which I was getting. That's how he got that job. He's like a prodigy or so. Or did they poke his eyes out in some kind of ritualistic thing? Or
I would watch a whole movie about that guitar player guy.
Yeah, it was pretty great. Okay, good movie. Okay, but you don't have to.
Uh-oh.
Well, I mean,
are you qualifying your love of Fury Road right now?
No, I'm not at all. Not at all. I just like, I've kept my lips zipped. Erin enjoyed that movie so much, and all of her friends have enjoyed that movie so much. And then on the way home, there's just that like, she's like, "Oh man, it was so impactful. It's so good. Such a refreshing change." And then she was like, "How did you enjoy the movie? Was that intimidating for you?" And I was like, no. But inside I was like, fuck you. And I have only said that to you guys, and don't tell her. I was just kind of like, what? Come on.
Intimidated by the feminism of it?
Yeah. Like, oh, are you able to handle that, explosion boy? Penis man? Motherfucker.
I would watch those
I don't care
movies
who's
too.
blowing shit up.
Yeah.
I
I love that there's men's group that hate that movie for being too feminist. It's a bunch of dudes fighting and blowing shit up.
Well, also, Mad Max as a protagonist has never been anything other than, and I thought that this is the best Mad Max movie ever out of all of them, for sure. I will say that. That's my opinion. But I particularly love that actor playing Mad Max, and I love that performance. And it's I had heard that he's like, oh, he's taking a slight back seat because there's this other sort of thing happening. happening. But that's not really true. If you watch all these movies, like he's always, what I like about Mad Max is that he's really more canine than human. He's like this, and it's especially like brought out by the Charlize Theron character, is that he's like this like lovable spaniel, you know, like, and that actor was so good at it. He was like, he just kept reminding me of my dog. Like, he's just like, but then like a good movie dog, he's not just obedient. Like the good movie dog turns the plot too. The good movie dog all of a sudden is like, what is it? What is it? The movie's going in one direction, dog. What do you want? Which is what he does. No spoilers there. It's just, also there's a lot of sand in vehicles. If you haven't seen it, it's pretty great. I don't want to talk about you guys are all talking about Mad Max, which is great. It's a great movie. Please enjoy. But also, like you know, Ripley. Why didn't we make that big a deal about Ripley? Because she had to have the panty and bra scene in Alien.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because that was like a slasher movie in space. She was like Jamie Lee Curtis running from an alien, screaming.
Okay, yeah.
She wasn't really like, but Aliens. She was driven by her uterus, I guess. She was like, I gotta save that baby because I'm a lady.
I find it fascinating.
I don't know.
I went and did a little exploring online. I mean a very little, because you get like a little goes a long way of reading about what the Mennonists, whatever the fuck they call themselves.
Mennonists.
Yeah.
Mennonites.
Yeah. Mennonites on Broadway.
The New York Times calls Mennonites a dashing good time. Do-ah. That's like an excerpt.
Mennonites have come. Sorry. Oh, I've got Mennonite
The
jokes.
girls are done.
But you read a little bit about it, and they're so mad that there's women with agency in a fucking action movie. It's like, what do you want? Is your stance that you want nothing but sweaty guys rubbing up against each other the whole movie? It's like, then what are we talking about at that point? Like you want no women in your movie, or they just have to be props. They just have to be damsels in distress.
They want Top Gun. They want Top Gun, man.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
they want a lot of beach volleyball, baby.
Yeah. I don't know. Who are they? I don't know. There's a Mennonite inside all of us.
They're not called Mennonites. They're called Mennonists. Mennonites are a noble, weird religion.
I think as we move forward, we need to start to. We're doing a great job accepting everything, and I think we need to start accepting a little bit of ignorance. There was an article that Emily Gordon had tweeted that I retweeted. She didn't. She retweeted it, and I retweeted her tweeted. But the headline was something like, "Admit it, your fave is problematic," and I think it was sort of like the treatise was sort of like, look. A world full of like people you're going to admire, and they're not all going to be mentally perfect. Like some of them are going to have slight racial, like racist, like holdovers from something. Some of them are going to need to be edified in terms of gender. Like they're not. There's a really good, there's a good chance that as you move forward and admire people throughout your life, like a lot of them are going to disappoint you, and it's. If we're going to actually fix the world and become like this Roddenberry vision, which I think everybody would agree with that, even though it seems like a lot of people want to fight that. The real truth is, if we're going to make it there, it's going to be because we actually get good at like greeting ignorance and saying like, I know what you are. That's okay. You just don't know some stuff yet, and I'm not going to bully you or reverse bully you or condescend to you or police you. It's challenging. I mean, it's not fair, but like it's like, what else are we going to do? Beat them up? Like what are we going to do? Yes, we're going to beat them up. Somebody said. So I mean, it feels good if you happen to be somebody that was bullied in your life. Of course, it feels good to finally like flip them over and spit in their face. But maybe we can do that for a little bit. But then I keep saying we, like the oppressed people unite. But I mean, I was part of a group in the 70s called Kids That Throw Like a Girl, and who smell like sewage. Although it wasn't born that way. I could have done something about that. I presented as sewage. And I was judged for it. All right. Anyways, whatever. Harmon, shut your fucking hole. But then keep talking. But okay. All right. Guitar guy.
You okay,
right,
Dan? You all right?
Yeah. Okay, so let's bring faucets back. I just want to make this quick. Let's bring faucets back in public bathrooms. Obviously, we don't have the motion detection technology. It's obviously that needs another 5 years in the oven. It's not working. It doesn't know when your hands are under the thing. But by the way, I'm not a biologist, but the day a germ can live on cold metal, I think we're going to be dead before you go to a public bathroom. Yeah. Because the shit's gonna be like everywhere. like germs tend to like moist, warm, biological places, like the ones that can really hurt you.
What I think,
like there's not gonna be one sitting on a doorknob going like, I can't wait to get inside your body and kill you. Like just look,
I feel like anything that you touch until you finish washing your hands is like don't. Hannah, are you already done? Yeah. Hannah the seamstress, everybody.
All right. Okay, all right. Okay, all right. One more thing, and I want to bring up our first guest.
Oh yeah.
Looks good.
Thank you, Hannah. That's very lovely of you.
Why did I write the voicemail? Oh, I want. Yeah.
Oh, that's pro too. That's a good button. That's gonna last for a while. Yeah.
I guess I could try this. There's got to be someone here who speaks Spanish. We find out there's no British people last week, but
I speak a touch of Spanish. Do we need lots of Spanish?
See if you can see what this guy's saying.
Oh, wait, right over there.
This is I don't know if you'll be able to hear.
¿Cómo
this.
te llamas?
Megan.
Megan. Megan.
Entiendo mucho mejor que hablo, pero hablo.
Okay. Okay.
This is a voicemail I got today when I didn't pick up. Do we
need Megan at her to translate or?
Well, that's what I'm seeing if she can hear this.
Okay.
If this makes it through the speaker system, but it's kind of. Let's see if this works here.
Do you want to plug it into?
No,
I can wire you in.
Hey, Mari, hablo Benjamín. Tengo los padres. ¿No quieres venir? Right.
I can't help you.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, that might have been Arabic.
Yeah, it might have been like pseudo-racist of me to assume that was Spanish. I don't even know. Because whatever language he's speaking, he's mumbling in it. But the alarming thing you can't hear is that there's like a really sharp child's cough at a certain point. It's like, hey, so I'm like, do you know that you just called a fat white comic that can't? I'm not a comic. Why am I a comic?
Should we try plugging in?
And Andy Kindler's in the back is like, oh, you're a comic now.
Do you want to try plugging in and hearing that with better fidelity? We can try to figure this out.
I don't know how worth it that is.
I'm curious. Was that a wrong number or
yeah, no. It was a perfect number. He nailed it. He called exactly the right guy. I am life flighting his kid to the whooping cough center. Yes, it's a wrong number. I don't even know what language he's speaking.
Maybe your car was in the shop and the guy was calling you back saying your car is ready or something like that.
Oh man, my car is going to be in the shop forever. They need to switch departments. That guy should be working on my air filter.
I want to hear it again. Play it again.
Okay. But all right.
I think everybody get very quiet.
Oh shit, hold on. I'm 42 and it's an iPhone. Just give me a second.
Hey, Mari, hablo Benjamín. Tengo los padres. ¿No quieres venir? Right.
Did you hear the kid? I'm really concerned that I don't know how to get this guy back. It's not a listed number.
Hello, Dr. Harmon. At the Tuberculosis Society, my child is going to die. Bye.
If you don't call back, I'll assume she's okay. She's turning green. Adios.
I'm not convinced that's Spanish. That's not Spanish. You heard TARDIS?
It could have been Catalan, right? Maybe.
TARDIS, I heard later, like the word like call me later, let's go somewhere later. Like later was the end of that. Bye.
Yeah.
What's that? It's cactus?
Cactus Bunch.
From Cactus Bunch?
Oh, the cactus. Is that what they're doing? A callback to Cactus Bunch? That's a deep cut. Or the Cactus Bunch isn't here, right?
I think the thing about the Cactus Bunch is also 40 years old right now. I would like to go hang out and have a drink with the Cactus Bunch. And ask him about the time they took my paisley bandana off me and wanted me to fight them for it.
I think I'm most scared out of all the gangbangers. I think I'm most scared of the Latino ones.
Whispering doesn't make this not recorded.
All right. Well, let's bring up a friend that I've been wanting to come up here for a long time. He needs no introduction, which is a good thing because I'm bad at them. He's an amazing comic.
Senator Bernie Sanders.
Mr. Andy Kindler has come down here. You can have a seat in any of these seats.
Thank you for having. Where do you want me to sit? I never know how these panel things work.
Wherever you're comfortable. I think the camera guy might have a preference. Like he's like, oh, would you sit there?
Oh, where do you want me to sit? Where do you sit?
Chris, is it better if he sits closer to me? They don't care.
They want to. Can you get us in a two-shot?
Yeah.
I know what I'm saying though.
Yeah.
That's what the old comics would say. I don't know what that meant.
All right, so
I'm already bombing. I haven't even. How could I be bombing that quick?
You bombed before you sat down.
Bombing on sight. Oh, it's an old comedian of some type. That's what they're saying.
Yeah. Oh, I have told them about you and worshipped at your feet, like, and said we got to get Kindler up here because you are. To me, like one of the, He's
one of the quickest bombing comics.
Well, the main thing is that you didn't build it up too big.
Right. Well, I felt like I had to do that. I didn't have to do that. I don't know why I did that.
It's not your fault.
Because I have diarrhea of the mouth. I don't know.
It's
I was
not your
we gotta
fault.
get Kindler up here. He's the best. He's the best. Now look at us.
You're not responsible for their judgmental attitude. The kids today, they're like, yeah, you make us laugh. What do you got?
It's not like audiences back in the 70s.
No, back in the 70s, they were like, I hope Gallagher's smashes some melon and it gets on me. That's what they were like.
It was easy back then. You guys knew what to do back then.
What will this Robin Williams think of next, they said back then. Too soon, too late, too soon. I'm going to do this joke every night I'm on stage for the rest of my life. Every night. I've done it every night so far, and I will do it again. Who died and made Jim Belushi a big star? And then I do the long stare.
If there's, I've stolen many of your jokes and borrowed them in conversation or whatever, but there's nothing I've stolen more than when you say a punchline and hold it.
And that's built on a tradition of thousands of years of Catskills comics.
Thousands of years. Fuck it. Thousands of years.
Back in the Code of Hammurabi, there was
Code of Hammurabi. That's Karnak I'm doing.
I did Karnak last week.
He did that last
I did a
week.
Karnak thing last week to abject silence.
Get him out. They don't know anything pre-Fallon.
You were, I saw in the final montage of the Letterman goodbye, you popped up between like two presidents or something.
It was, I can't follow Obama. That was a joke at one point. No, I couldn't believe it. I was totally thrilled. Completely thrilled.
I thought I saw. I mean, sometimes you're a dry guy, but sometimes you're a very sincere guy. Like on Twitter, like you and I we're old guys on Twitter. So, and one of the things I was thrilled to talk to you about is like how, because I and the thing that really endeared you to me, whereas otherwise you'd just be that really, really funny guy, and sometimes it's easy to hate that guy because you're like, fuck that really funny guy.
I often hate myself because I'm so funny.
But you. But you bother to argue with people on Twitter, like about ideological stuff. Like people pick on you about not being an atheist, and you push back and go like, you know.
Right. And you came to my defense with the best thing. And what would you say? You said if you're.
I can't remember. They were like
something. If you don't believe in God, it's one thing. But if you're saying
I said to these kids that were picking on you guys, and I think you're mistaking atheism, which is I have no God, for antagonism, which is you have no God.
Exactly.
And then that got retweeted so much, and then it's just strangers. Like I posited that like I'm fucking Plato. Like I didn't say that on the Mount. I was saying that to these three kids that were like shaking down Andy for his lunch money. because he dares to have a connection to the fucking cosmos. It's like, first of all, if you're 20, shut the fuck up about religion or about my lack of it. Are you kidding me? You were closer to birth. Worship your mother's vagina.
I have. His mother. That's what made that joke work. I'm not doing. No. Well, you're absolutely right. And here's the thing: is that this whole topic has enraged me, but it also mixes up with a lot of different things, which is like people like I'll give you an example of how a lot of these atheists. First of all, it drives them. I don't care if you're atheist. Most of my friends are atheists.
And
my dad was agnostic. Like some comic who I'm no longer friends with was talking about how it's hard to be. You get oppressed if you're an atheist. You're oppressed as an atheist in America. Show me where you'd have to move to Alabama and specifically walk around and go, "There's no God, you Jesus loving piece of garbage." I don't know. That was a bad example. But the point is, but like just an example of how some of these people's minds work. Someone was arguing with me, and they said they always say that religion causes, the Quran causes people to become violent. So I said, well, Stalin was an atheist, and then then the guy comes back. Oh, you're saying atheism causes violence? No! I'm saying none of it causes violence. So it's like they claim to be brilliant, but they're not even using their own logic.
There's a lot of it. Yeah, I feel like...
I'm sorry I got so excited about nothing.
It's all right. We have an understanding. I mean, I bet if I asked all the atheists to stand up, I don't want to risk it because they might go, well, I'm standing, let's walk out.
Yeah.
But I accept... Look, I mean, I'm always like I'm just a Joseph Campbell guy, and I was like I was an atheist / agnostic too until I started writing and started having writer's block, and then discovered Campbell and was reading this, and the guy grew up a Catholic Boy Scout, and he was smart, and the value of mythology in your life is like that's all I care about. Like I always say to people, if you're gonna pop Tom Hanks's volleyball, what are you gonna replace it with? Castaway. They don't even born after that movie came out. It's a young demo.
No. Well, but the thing is, no. But the thing is like the thing is the worst thing. There is no science, and they drives me crazy when I go. There's zero science in atheism. Nothing. It's nothing scientific. Because first of all, unless you're 8 years old or 12 years, unless you're 12 years old. Of course, we're not talking about people who literally believe the Bible is true. Those are fundamentalists. Nobody believes fundamentalists what they believe in. Although I've met a lot of nice fundamentalists. I mean, then there's fundamentalists who will tell you you're bad for being gay. But the point is, you can't say something isn't true when the word God, I use it to describe something I can't describe. I'm not even saying what it is. I'm just saying I did LSD in college. I've had, I've written music. On stage, you get into a zone. I take martial arts. They call it no mind. The root of so many things in life, meditation, is a belief in some kind of transcendent experience. And you can't, and it seems like ridiculous that these people live in their little head. They really think that that's where they're going to be able to figure out everything. Science has nothing to say about the kind of things that I'm talking about.
Right, exactly.
I'm not saying the world's 3,000 years old or creationism is. It's like there's no scientific thing that can come out where I would go, okay, I was wrong.
Right, and
there is no love.
And there's a larger scale on which it's like, oh my God, well, do you know that people used to put leeches on people and burn people at the stake and all that stuff? It's like, yeah, and in that scale, we've won. There's bigger skyscrapers than churches on every skyline. There's like no place where there's like crucifixes everywhere and you get whipped for anything if you don't believe in anything. Like we're winning. It's on schedule. Like the death of religion. It's fine. We're fine.
Yeah. And I can't believe I've ever had to defend organized religion. I mean, I'm not even defending it. I'm not defending anything.
No, they're worse than anybody. Right. Anything with a name on it, they can go fuck themselves.
But wouldn't you rather hang out with the Pope than Bill Maher? I would.
Yes. Absolutely.
Well, this Pope, I'd rather hang out with this Pope than Bill Murray.
Right.
This Pope is like a fucking terrorist. He's amazing. That's like the biggest compliment I can give a Pope. He's like a terrorist.
The Pope knows what he means.
Like every other day you turn on NPR, it's like the Pope said that people who hate gay people are going to hell. It's like he's just sort of like, I don't know. He didn't say that, but like I mean, like boy, they really put a firecracker in the old Pope seat.
Yeah, he's good. The Pope was in West Hollywood last night doing poppers.
He's got.
He's not normally a papal person. I've done that joke. I've done it before.
They love it. They love it.
It's my joke, but I've done it before.
Jesus. He actually hit. That was actual physical violence on the show for the first time, I think.
I can't believe I actually hit him with a piece of paper.
We've had some screwballs up here, and that was the first physical violent act.
It was physical comedy.
Well, I'll give you a perfect example. It's like if I say online, I don't know anything about Charlie Hebdo. I've seen a couple of cartoons where they're showing Muhammad. Easy, dude. You don't know what I'm gonna say.
You don't know what I'm gonna say.
Okay. What were you? Oh, don't even start. No, I don't know anything about Charlie. I've seen a couple of cartoons where Muhammad's bald.
Do you want a piece of paper and a pen to draw Muhammad right now?
No, I don't. But the point is, I say, look, just because, of course, they go, well, I don't know if Charlie Hebdo, I don't know if their cartoons were racist. I don't know. I just don't. And then they go, well, they shouldn't have been murdered. Yes. Can't we stipulate that I'm against murder?
Not pro-murder.
Has there anything I've ever said to you where you go, Andy, you're not saying you're going to kill that guy because he cut you off in traffic. But the point is, if you can't have a discussion about that there are certain things in the world, like those Danish guy, that Van Gogh guy who did get killed, but there's a lot of people provoking people who are not in the power position in their country, and we can't have a discussion about it, and Salman Rushdie's going to say, because some people didn't want them to get a PEN award, that they have no character. That's where it's like, how can you have a discussion if you're telling me there's no validity to my position because you can't murder a cartoonist? Right. I'm against murdering cartoonists. They should not be murdered.
Andy,
if you think you're murdering a cartoonist, count to 10.
Andy,
unless it's the family circle.
It's well documented that you've been soft on murder for a long time.
I know. That's not true. A couple of times. I murdered a couple of people and I wasn't sorry about it.
I will confess that I've been I refrain from ever speaking about the Hebdo thing because I've been so confused about it, because I am a rabid, mouth-foaming, I don't even want to say First Amendment guy, because I don't think, the freedom of speech is something you get from a lawyer. I think it's something you get by virtue of your humanity. But I'm like, anybody ever trying to stop it, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is that I had to realize, and I think you retweeted an article, was it you?
Yes,
where
that
it
guy.
was all the French Muslims that were just sounding off on.
Oh yeah, they asked a different.
It was a Vice magazine article, and they just, all it was no agenda to the article except that it was just a bunch of French Islamic individuals like commenting on the situation by virtue of being asked by this journalist, and I was like, I just read it, and I kind of like got this more distant view and I was like, oh my God, I got caught up in that age-old thing that I'm always railing against, which is so much easier to recognize within the country, where you're being told falsely that you have to choose between two things, that you have to choose between whether you love freedom or love terrorism. Me, old genius pants.
Not old genius pants.
I was like, I don't understand. It's like, anybody who shoots anybody is a fucking bully, and so we should just always like fucking gather around and do whatever we have to and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, yes, you can still feel that way, but you can also be equally passionate about everybody being respected all the time. This isn't something that's up for referendum anywhere. It's not. You don't have to choose salt or pepper like anything. You can be like, the potatoes need some salt, the pepper needs some salt, and the salt needs some pepper, and then both the other potato needs.
You're talking about salt and pepper. No, but for example, Bill Maher will quote. Bill Maher, who is a horrible person, he will say 70% of according to a Pew poll in Syria or whatever, 70% of Muslims hate those cartoons. What does that mean? They're allowed to hate the cartoons. Right. You're allowed to draw the cartoons. I'm allowed to say I hate them. And it seems to me, I didn't see a lot of these people arguing about having mosques near 9/11. You know what I'm saying? Everything that's also freedom of expression. So everybody's freedom of expression is based on where you are in your life. So so many of my friends they almost like jumped up from the table because they're artists. So that's all they
Right.
see
Right.
in that moment.
And it's so important to see that. But
yes, it is. And
but
also,
we just-
murder is wrong.
It's a
Too little family circus. That guy should be allowed to walk around.
You say, are you
measure of the extremity of artist support?
Are you coming down on in favor of murdering Bill Keane and family?
No,
circus?
I
he's
retract
saying-
that. For a minute, I got a little angry.
He's expressing his belief in non-murder to the extent that he's willing to say Bill Keane should be walking around
Yes.
among us, breathing our air.
That's tolerance. That is very tolerant.
You think
This
I
guy's
don't want?
card-carrying non-murderer.
You think when Garfield doesn't like Mondays, I don't want to rip my head out? But
You don't think I want to send Jim Davis to the eternal Monday of
to the lasagna,
Hack
to
Valhalla?
the lasagna of hell? Yes, I do. But I restrict. Now, why were you all? Why were you all up in arms?
Oh, we were just talking about that yesterday.
Oh, okay. But you agree that I'm right? That's all I care about. I want to be the guy who gives his opinion, is not afraid to say anything, but everybody has to love me.
Yeah. Let's all just love Andy. That's it. All right. So let's talk about comedy.
Okay. Let's.
Anyway, what is this? Because you did a great thing for I think several years at the Just for Laughs Festival in Montreal, the State of the Industry address, which was hilarious. What do you think the state of comedy is right now?
Well, I think the state of, first of all, when you have a Mr. James Corden who, they don't even know who he is.
I honestly don't either. He
See,
does
I
the
used to
fish
go-
sticks, right?
No, I used to make fun of I used to go with this, make the speech. Now nobody even knows the references.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I love the show B-Roll with Carson Daly. Have you seen that show? All right, so Carson Daly doesn't have time to be on his own show anymore. He doesn't do the interviews on his show. He throws to comedians who put their own segments together. Why are you not outraged by this? Then we have the comedians. Josh Gad is literally he's in everything. He's in everything. I opened up my mailbox this morning. Josh Gad popped out.
He physically popped out?
Have you seen the comedians?
Yes.
It's behind the scenes of vaudeville, is what it is. And Josh Gad said that Billy Crystal is an encyclopedia of comedy. He didn't say that he's a 1957 World Book. Adam Sandler, his Adam Sandler movie. They walked off the set of that movie without even the writers of F Troop sent them a note and said they don't even know what Adam Sandler movie. You don't know what Adam Sandler movie's in production? Hello.
Were you a fan of F, by the way?
No, I'd like to drown in my own sorrow.
Do you,
Sometimes non sequiturs don't work.
I would assume that you would agree that.
And I hate Ricky Gervais. Is that what you?
Ricky Gervais.
No, you were onto something.
No. Ricky Gervais. Give me some Ricky Gervais.
Okay, Ricky Gervais spends half of his Twitter feed talking about how what an atheist he is, although he doesn't even understand the basic tenets of monotheism. Someone goes, he goes, "What God do you believe in?" Like, we've already settled that whatever it is that people are sensing, it's all the same thing, viewed through different cultures. But this idiot doesn't even know what he's talking about. So half of his feed's about that, and then the other half of his feed is about how he doesn't care what people say about him. Half of his tweets. And I want to know, can I get a price on Netflix without Derek? What's my...
One more time. Give me one more.
Without Derek. Better than without Derek. What's the price without Derek? The joke's up there, Dan.
Oh, and you're bringing it down?
Yeah. Without Derek.
Is it like frosting, and we're like in a gingerbread house, and you're?
I'm painting a picture for the people.
Oh, okay.
And then always, if it doesn't get a big enough laugh, you say something in between the jokes, like pretty frightening stuff, people. I think I'm making you sick.
No. I'm such a bad interviewer that sometimes if you look over at me, I'm thinking about what I should ask you next.
Is this not making you comfortable? Let's do this. Now you said you think I would agree with you.
Well, I was going to say I would imagine you might agree or would tweak this observation that there was a certain point in time when a certain kind of I always call it the apple on the teacher's desk school of comedy. See, I mean, and then this is where,
Let me finish if you like.
Lay it on me.
Yes, I will say yes. Fallon fully represents that. It's the mistaking fun for funny, and it's also the sort of like a comedian's job isn't to upset people, which I don't agree with. I feel like a comedian should not be allowed to be pals with a politician. I think you should. I don't you should definitely feel that there's a red flag happening there. If
Ted Cruz is a nice man, and we hang out. We don't talk. We play golf. We don't talk politics. Funnier here, funnier there. No, I know what you mean, though. But also, that's why Letterman was so amazing, was because he was himself.
Right.
It's funny when you're yourself, curmudgeon.
Yeah.
Andy Rooney is still complaining about his coffin. He's like, why are my eyebrows still growing? Why didn't I get myself cremated?
I don't think eyebrows should keep growing after you die. I think they should stop.
I don't know why there's a top on the coffin.
Why is there a lid on here? No one's gonna open this up. Look at me.
Where am I gonna go? I got nowhere to be.
I don't need more lining.
I understand they needed to put my body in, but they could have welded it shut. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it out loud, I guess a lid makes sense. Goodbye. I'm dead Andy Rooney. I found my peace.
I would love it. If 60 Minutes was edgy, they would have a dead Andy Rooney at the end of every episode.
Is it I perceived the shift toward the apple on the desk philosophy of comedy as coming around Chris Farley's death. Because I felt like it was just one too many for everybody, and then there was a certain takeover of okay, now let's have the activities committee.
What do you mean apple on the desk? I don't understand.
I just mean hey, who's your favorite student? It's me.
What, were you homeschooled?
Woo! Boom! You know how in high school there were the kids that put together the pep rally? And they would and then Mr. Simmons from chemistry would come out and he would lip sync to an Elvis song, and then Jeremy would come out, who's famous for his mullet, and then they'd cut his mullet because he said he'd cut it if they didn't win homecoming. And it's everyone's woo, woo, woo. And it's this fusion of popularity and comedy, but it's not really comedy. The kids that are smoking joints under the bleachers, they're not all funny either. But a comedian should come from the dirt, right? They shouldn't come from popular crops of people. And I felt like the edginess and that association with drugs, it's always been there, and it's always been sort of a sad but realistic kind of thing. Is it's comedians are terrible, tortured people. They're in a lot of
shaking my head.
they're in a lot of pain. They self-medicate, and so there's as with musicians, there's just always been this kind of okay, this comedian he's allowed to say shit that no one else is allowed to say, and he catches flack for it, but he doesn't give a fuck, and that's the comedian station, and he overdosed, and
it's not no one specific we're talking about.
Also not pro overdose.
Yeah, you can't get upset at a hypothetical comedian.
Maybe it's my I tipped a glass of milk, I guess is maybe, or
Eddie Schmadoopy drowned in a pool of his own cocaine. What?
What's H.P. Manubi?
Eddie Schmaboopy, I said. I'm not good at
Henny Schmaboopy.
Anyways, I just was
he had his own pool of cocaine?
A lot of times it's not what... Some people say funny things funny, but funny people say funny things. Have you ever heard that one? I used to hear that one all the time. Is that a bromide?
Oh, yeah.
Some people say funny things.
Right. Comics. It was a comics and comedians.
Comedians say funny things. Comics say
things funny.
Say things funny.
Yeah.
Right.
Dumb. Right.
And Adam Carolla is racist. I didn't say you said that.
Andy Kindler is saying you guys said
You
that.
did it.
You guys
Why
said
would you bring that? But I'll tell
Your
you something.
silence is consent.
When that's right. You think you like racism. You're pro-racism. You sons of. When I was back there and you said you said you weren't a comic, right?
Right.
So, okay. Now, this is. I mean, he is a comedian, but the idea. Like these people like Corolla, or they all of a sudden think, or Gervais is another example. Gervais thinks he's the funniest stand-up comedian in the world. What is wrong with your ego that you think because you've done stand-up 15 or 20 times, and it's like to have humility. You have humility. It's like you know you're funny, but you're not.
Right.
You know there's a certain, and these people, and I can't complete sentences. What do you think?
But yeah, you and Patton Oswalt sit there and it's like fucking like
Yeah.
You have you work for 10 years and the result is like a strong 15. I think I just insulted you guys. It's a strong 11. No, but I mean it's like it's fucking like I mean you torture yourselves and you work it and blah 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 and it's like this podcasting age is a great thing but I sense like with Kumail Nanjiani too it's like I'm about to go on stage and I'll go like. Or Duncan Trussell too has like been working on the road in the last time, and he's sort of become a podcast star. But it's like his podcast audience is way bigger than his comedian following. I think so. If he goes on tour with his podcast, he draws these huge crowds for no effort at all. But if he's like just touring as a stand-up, it's sort of like, oh, he does stand-up. And I remember saying to Duncan before going on stage, I was like, are you mad about the last 20 years that we spent? Right. And he's like, yeah, you know what, I am. Yeah, that's really fucking enraging because he's a very happy guy.
That's a good Duncan Trussell.
But anyways, yeah, I don't know. I was babbling about
there's
that.
no value. And my thing is, there's no value judgment. But it's like that. Did you see that thing where Ricky Gervais was on with like Chris Rock and those guys and Louis C.K. and they were both talking about comedy and the fact that Ricky Gervais he's a narcissist. He had a thing on Twitter once. Was my favorite example of someone who's so full of himself. He said, "This is the only trophy hunting I believe in," and because he's doing animal rights things, and he's standing in front of a case with his trophies in it.
No.
And I forced him to change his Twitter bio. I absolutely am convinced of it because his Twitter bio said multi-BAFTA winning, 16 Emmy deserving writer, producer, actor, singer. I mean, literally. And he goes, and a one-trick pony with a smiley face at the end. He doesn't. You can't be a comedian and not realize and not have any self-awareness. And I love the original Office. Boy, is my face red. I guess Stephen Merchant was responsible. He is that character.
Yeah.
I mean, who's the guy who played?
Merchant, you think Merchant is whatever Ricky Gervais'
He's
character is?
man. Maybe he has soul of some kind. But Ricky Gervais is that character.
David Brent.
He's not playing.
Yeah, interesting. So okay. But
he meant interesting.
I know. I really did mean it.
Yeah.
I
say intriguing.
It's not a competition.
That's how you look at it. Score one for Kindler. Kindler won.
I guess we've already circled this. I kind of wanted to ask you this because you would be the only person that I would trust with this to answer this question in an edifying way. No pressure, but also it's kind of a dumb question. But so don't answer it. But
who is Copernicus?
Doctors have this sort of central oath. They have the Hippocratic Oath. They can sum up their whole shtick in one thing. Like, I gotta heal people. That's what I do. That's my gimmick. I'm a doctor, and like whether I work on toes or noses or a little bit of both, I'm not supposed to do any harm. It's
hard to find a good toe and nose doctor these days.
Now we have to hold. The doctors have an oath because we had to shake them down for one at some point because otherwise they could just be like
the leaches and
cut
maybe cut off one of your arms and see if that helps. Maybe we should have a do no harm thing because Dr. Mengele's gotta stop it
before they're.
I can't reference Dr. Mengele. He's not alive.
It's not a.
Are they pro Dr. Mengele?
They're anti-irony. This generation.
Oh.
They're just kind of like, I don't know. There's no such thing as context because bad people abuse the concepts of context and irony.
Yes, that's true.
To be genuinely like
horrible.
Bad people. They say so. Then we go like, what about context? What about irony? And they're like, I heard that from Old Man Carruthers, and he's racist. So you're racist too. Good logic, you little fucking hologram shithead.
This could be me in 6 months. Look, you atheist piece of shit.
Is there a comedic oath? Would there be, what would it be if there was one? Obviously, there isn't one because there's a lot of like bad approaches to comedy. Like me personally observing, it's like just like I don't think you should be doing comedy to get applause or even necessarily smiles. I think that comedy definitely heals more people and makes them feel better in the long run. But okay, so I've always babbled about this, but it's important. The first joke. This is a theory, an anthropological theory. The first joke that we hear is peekaboo, and it's like it's half terror. Your mom is abusing your infantile instinct to shriek in terror when your mom's face goes away, and then she's going, "I'm in on it too. Death is a joke," and you're like, well, "I don't know what the fuck this world is. This is insane." So like, half of a comedian's job is if you're dwelling in the world of comedy, you get one foot in the river Styx, you know. Well, then you'd forget everything. All right, ancient Greek majors.
Maybe if your mother wasn't holding a knife while she was doing it.
But you get.
Forget about it.
You're in that.
Not going to you anymore.
I want to hear more ancient Greek Catskill comedy.
Oh yeah.
Easy, Sisyphus. Work a little harder.
I can't think of one Greek name.
Hey, Tantalus! I have a mic. You can't reach your beer. God has a plan.
Icarus, Andy, Icarus.
Maybe you shouldn't name your comedy duo the Iliad and the Odyssey. I don't know. Is that even Greek?
Yeah.
Yes.
I like the kind of people like, yes, old man. Read something. I do. Here's my oath. Yeah, I do have an oath. Here's the thing. The thing I think I hate more than anything else, and I'm sure you agree with this, is when people say, "Hey, if they laugh, people are laughing, it's funny." Well, that's just objectively wrong. You can't say comedy's not subjective in the sense
That's like saying if people are sneezing, you're sick.
Right.
Or allergic or anything.
Yeah.
There's a lot of reasons to sneeze.
We may disagree on what's funny, but it doesn't mean that because people can get someone to laugh, it's funny. Because that was what got me where I wrote this hack handbook, which is available on my website, where nothing ever changes. Who's sick and tired of all these different dates? So
they keep changing them.
But I don't know what I was saying. What was I saying?
Your oath, the hack handbook.
Yeah, but what was the sentence before that?
You said you had an oath.
Oh, your oath.
Oh well, okay. So if you're in a club and I say, are you working tonight? Well, get your feet off the stage. Like in the 80s, any comic could get a laugh doing that, and the crowd would laugh. You've never heard it before. So it's up to the comedian to take the responsibility that he knows that his material is original, that he's not doing something hack. But a lot of, and like when I was in the 90s, when they had the first quote alternative scene since the late 70s, which is the real alternative explosion with Letterman and all those people. Like we were all, people like me were all squeezed out of, like Janine Garofalo, all these people. We couldn't play comedy clubs because it was just filled with hacks who just played to the audience. So I think the oath is that you have to go with what you believe is funny. And for me, the big breakthrough, but I don't know if this is an oath, the big breakthrough came 23 years in when I realized that I thought I was always saying what was on my mind. But I realized I wasn't. I was going to like stock things about it, like I hate the crowd or I hate myself, and that was the big breakthrough. And so that's kind of my oath is when things go bad, just to really try and be in the moment.
Right.
But I don't know if that's
just
an
step
oath.
back and and remind yourself that if you're not making yourself laugh, if you're not saying something that you genuinely feel is funny, then you're you could still be wrong. You could say something that you genuinely think is funny and find out that you're racist on Monday night, and then you're like read about it for 3 days and go like come back on Thursday like, you know what, I was racist on Monday and I found out. But unless you're saying what you genuinely think is funny, you're never gonna be funny, because you could make people laugh. You could by going like
for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, I'm gonna use this got milk formula everyone's using. I'm gonna say got cum, and see, I got a chuckle.
And dick, for example, dick jokes, and that's why you can't make any rules, because dick jokes are an easy way to get people to laugh. But then there's always one person, like any rule you would make, and then you see David Tell for 10 minutes be the hilarious. No one's funnier than him. You can't make any rules. So that's why when politically correct things come down, or when they went after Colbert, it was so terrible, because obviously we know he's hilarious. But that doesn't mean that I never bought the thing where when you're on stage, it's a magic eraser zone. You can say anything you want. A comedian should have a conscience. You should be able to say if you think you're wrong, I was wrong. Right. I hate that the comics are saying, or many even say, you should never apologize. You should never. You should always evaluate what you're doing.
Right. I thought it was really refreshing. Do you remember when Natasha Leggero did the thing about, she did some Pearl Harbor joke?
About they're so old they can't eat food?
But then her anti-apology, like it's a case-by-case basis is what you're saying, but like that was such a fucking great day for me. I had a spring in my step, like, because she said, I'm not sorry, and I shouldn't be, and it's not defiance, and it's just like, this is not, because we are over-apologizing, blah, blah, blah. But what you're saying is, sometimes, but you don't have to have that hard line. A comedian doesn't. We can't go like, we're comedians, we're not going to apologize. It's like I've been doing this podcast. I talk 2 hours a week. I have no material. I'm babbling. I'm drunk. I have bruised people, and I have been told that I have bruised them on Twitter, and I have then even in that moment gone like, go fuck yourself, because I'm human and I don't like being told that I did something wrong. But inevitably, I'm like, I did something wrong. I
think that's really cool.
I could have done that differently, but I didn't, because I wasn't thinking the right way.
And not as a PR thing. You just want to do. You just want to.
Oh no, it's a PR thing.
Oh sure.
But no.
My people say the same thing.
But speaking of PR, I mean, to take it into this area, but part of your persona is the reason that we know that that you really follow that credo is because in the brief time you've been up here, you have. I mean, I also do not like Bill Maher. I also was thinking of Jimmy Fallon when you said I was thinking of Jimmy Fallon. I also I didn't know Adam Carolla was racist, but I'm willing to believe you. You go there, as the girls say.
I do go there, and the thing is, everything. So I have a joke. I say Jay Leno has a car that runs on the energy of all the people's dreams that he's crushed. And I kind of really don't like Jay Leno, but Bill Maher's in a completely different category, because I am very sensitive to that people should not hate people based on. I was raised, you don't hate people based on their religion.
The thing that really pisses me off about Bill Maher is all of his dogmatic stuff. Like he has a religion, and it's atheism, and he's as fundamentalist and dogmatic about that
absolutely
as you could possibly be about any fucking thing else. And now, which would be fine if he were more charming about it, but charm is not what Bill Maher deals in.
It's 9/11. Sorry,
That is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. Holy moly.
Andy, we're the only show that people cheer when you go, it's 9/11.
Oh my God. You do that. How do you, sometimes don't you miss it sometimes? Or you have a second?
Sometimes we miss it. And boy, in the morning, I'm like, God damn it.
But it happens again, like in the AM. It's amazing.
Anyways, all right. Back to the.
There was one time Bill Maher.
One time we did like a sweet, sexy ass R&B song about 9/11.
Yeah.
It was. We were thinking because we should have a tradition at 9/11, but then it started to feel creepy. Because I think the number's funny. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's not 3,000 people dying isn't that funny? I'm against it. I'm against it. The number, the idea of a number being sacred is funny.
They shouldn't have taken down the towers.
No, they should not have.
He clearly doesn't believe that.
They should have counted to 10.
You're right.
If you and you know what? Count to 11.
Yeah.
Too soon? 10 too late?
10 is right in between 9 and 11. right in between them. They just missed 10.
The fear is always that there's someone in the crowd who was you know what I mean?
Yeah,
they're all of a sudden like, I just had put it behind me, and you know.
I have no idea what you're talking about. As someone who started experimenting with stand-up at 17, right after Jeffrey Dahmer ate everyone in Milwaukee, and when all of the families of his 17 victims were going out to comedy clubs to try to get away from their sorrows, and every comic was like, "Well, it seems like everyone else in the nation thinks this is funny."
Right? Yeah.
Never mind that I live in Milwaukee.
Andy, I mean, I'm sure you were doing gigs in the days and weeks after 9/11, because I went to a show about a week and a half after all the shit went down, and Warren Thomas did a set and did the funniest 9/11 joke of all time. But the audience before that, nobody was really quite willing to laugh at anything at all, because the whole country, the whole world was just like in a weird suspension of nothing's going to be funny for a while. And rightfully so. Like it's very natural. And some guy came on before him and told a bunch of jokes about how his failing acting career, and he's done a bunch of shows that were terrible, and about and he's talking about his career. And then Warren Thomas, who's a great comic who died, how many years ago?
About 10 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, who's a beloved, hilarious guy. And he comes up and his first joke was, "Yeah, man, I saw your demo reel. I haven't seen that many bad pilots since 9/11." Oh.
That is sweet.
And the crowd did not groan. The crowd fucking went into ecstasy because we needed to fucking say something funny. Not at the expense of what happened. It's just that the world needed somebody to fucking do the comedian's job. It's like, let's all be in this room together and let's all laugh about anything at all.
Yeah, I think that's.
It's a very courageous thing, and it's a great. You never heard the story about Gilbert Gottfried?
That I did not want to see. It's a whole long thing, but I had no desire to see the Aristocrats. It's like in some ways I'm like an old school guy. Like I had a fear my parents are going to watch it and they're going to be watching, something like up the ass into the colon. And I just couldn't understand. But the premise that he had. Tell them what he said.
Well, no, I'm going back to a thing after the Johnstown Massacre.
Oh, because he said after 9/11 that he was late for a gig because he had to change planes at the Empire State Building. And then he went into that. Right. Then he went into
the crowd groaned, and then he said, "I'm gonna horrify you with viscera."
But what's the
I hope I'm not getting this wrong, because this is a story that I'm sure I'm being gonna get the details wrong, but I believe it was Gilbert Gottfried at the Fillmore in San Francisco, and from what I've heard, it's one of the greatest openers of all time. And he comes out, and it was like a couple days or so after. And believe me, if I'm getting this wrong, somebody put online the actual story of this. But this is passed down to me through other comics. The Johnstown Massacre, horrible thing. Another one of those moments where nobody.
We're against it.
Yeah. Nobody knew what to think, and certainly we're going to a comedy show, and all these people have been massacred, and it's a weird time to go laugh about anything at all.
Especially he did the show in Jonestown.
Right.
That was the thing.
I thought that was in poor taste.
Tough room.
Yeah.
No, I smell flesh. I don't know how they even died. What did they drink? What were they drinking the Kool-Aid?
So, supposedly he comes out, and I don't know if he was doing the Gilbert voice then or not, but this is a long time ago.
I think he always kind of did.
Did he always? I don't know.
I can't believe we all missed the 2-drink minimum bit there.
A 2-drink minimum.
2-drink maximum.
No.
Jonestown, tough room.
2 poison.
2-drink maximum.
I'm really killing the night. So he comes out and he says, supposedly, and forgive me if I'm getting any of this wrong, but the way I know the story is that he comes out and he says, "Well, the Fillmore Auditorium in San Francisco. I grew up in San Francisco," which I don't think he did. And again, this could be all wrong. But the point is, he did do this joke. He said, Janis Joplin played here, and I came here as a young teenager, and I saw Janis Joplin play here, and I actually became friends with her, and I met her, and we hung out, and I was actually with Janis when she died, and I held her in my arms as Janis died. So to be here at the Fillmore, it's very powerful. It's a very emotional thing for me. I saw Jimi Hendrix play her. I became friends with Jimi Hendrix. I was with Jimi Hendrix the night that Jimi Hendrix died. I held Jimi Hendrix in my arms as he died. I just got back from Johnstown. Boy, are my arms tired.
I'm sorry. Did I go too far?
They knew what they signed up
They
for.
knew, yes.
But like Eric, I'll pull up the quotes. Eric, did you ever see that thing Eric Idle wrote about about how comics are licensed jesters, and that they should always have the freedom, and it should be sanctioned by everybody that they have the ability to be seditious and to be.
Well, the trouble is that
critical.
in the world where jesters come from, you were vetted. So with capitalism, everyone's a comic. Right. It's like open mic night, and then some guy gets up. We've all seen some horrible shit. I did stand up for all of a couple of years before I gave up because I was bad and didn't have the discipline to do it. But you know, I was at the Safe House in Milwaukee with this guy that he was a juggler, and he was juggling like machetes and like. They were, I guess they weren't sharp machetes, but they were fucking metal, and one of them just flew out into the audience and like almost hit a lady, and like he didn't apologize, which I think you should always do when you almost machete someone, and she's like, whoa, and she was being relative to almost being macheted a good sport. And she was like, and I guess the machete kind of like went sort of like in the area of like where it landed. I guess he saw the opportunity in that it like landed kind of between her legs. And so he made the joke as he picked it up. He's like, too bad it didn't go 6 inches further to keep you from reproducing. And then kept juggling.
Now that's funny, folks. Come on.
So like I just like that, when I think about whether or not we should all be knighted for speaking our mind, like we're the defenders of all this stuff. I was like, I always remember that guy. I was like, that guy doesn't know what he's doing. He's very nervous. He's just throwing knives around.
Right.
And when he fucks up throwing knives around, which is already bad enough, his mind leaps to female circumcision or whatever he's like thinking.
I wish that had cracked your vagina in half.
Thank God to remove you from the gene pool.
Tough room.
Anyways, so
tough room. That's not me. It's the machete guy.
So yeah, we don't get that jester status. However, comedy in general, when you're talking about comedy as a river, what should the pH level of that river be? I think it should be primarily toxic. I think there should be a causticity to things that get dipped in that river.
But unless people like someone like Brian Regan, who I think is hilarious, his mind doesn't work that. What? His mind doesn't work that way. So I wouldn't call that caustic.
No. You don't have to be. Oh my God, please. Yeah, I'm sorry. You don't have to be caustic as a comedian. That's my whole point. I think of that kid like throwing knives, and I go like, he should not be protected.
Right, exactly.
By the law.
Comedian rule.
I also like on the other side of the spectrum, a huge thing that is violated is that everybody by default thinks you have to be mean to be funny, and there are so many wonderful, warm, sincere people who are truly funny because of their love of everyone around them, and they
you got Bill Cosby.
Oh, that is inappropriate.
Oh no.
There's things to be joked about, and there's things that should be kept in a small box, locked away. Shame on you.
But yes, you're right. What I said. I mean, I think there's an obligation of comedy that it needs to be. I guess. Let me just skip to my bottom line and my agenda is that I just don't think you should be that popular. I don't think you should be that buddy with the city hall and the guess who's coming in tonight? It's the president of the school. Yay, I'm on the student council. And it's like, okay, you're probably not doing comedy then. There's a really good chance of that.
Well, Fallon's a perfect example because and Leno was a perfect example. Like you can't yes, it worked for Johnny Carson when he was the only show in the air. He felt like he didn't want to go too far in either direction, politically. Mm-hmm. That's fine. He was Johnny Carson. He was hilarious. But for Jay Leno to say that he said to comedians, you shouldn't have a point of view because you're going to alienate half the crowd. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And so it's like, before we were talking about the Charlie Hebdo and everybody upset. That's why there's people like Jimmy Fallon right now, because the uncomfortable things are hard to talk to, and so the people just want a clown who does a potato sack race.
The irony is because comedy actually, comedy has become such a it has become the only powerful tool left because politics have gone into the shitter. Everyone's lying when they're breathing. Everyone is so jaded and everything. The people that make you laugh, people are getting their news from the Daily Show for 15 years. And I don't even say that like our country's starting to shitter. It's like, yeah, I got my new. Jon Stewart became Walter Cronkite. He was the only one, and it was like because comedy was the only thing that could be trusted. That's so weird.
Don't pretend you know who Walter Cronkite was. Jesus Christmas.
But ironically, with that comes, oh my God, that person said something that is not on Logan's Run point. You know, with like whether or not Soylent Green is this or whether it's people. I know I'm mixing movies and metaphors. That's the irony of comedy's like emergence from all this other shit as like a trusted platform. It's like we actually need the people that make us laugh so bad now that will like hashtag cancel Colbert because the guy that runs his Twitter feed accidentally non-contextually ruined one of his jokes.
And people were so upset about it. But, you know, I'll give you an example of with the Adam Carolla thing. It's like Adam Carolla, if you listen to some of his bits where he says Mexicans have no culture, they're coming up here to get our culture, cab drivers, why do you think cab drivers don't pick up black people? Maybe they know something about black people that you don't know. Those are not jokes. So I'm even willing to accept that Adam Carolla was, I never was a huge fan, but when he was on Loveline, whatever, he could be funny, but that doesn't, maybe he could be funny, but now when he's just spewing racism, he can't hide behind the fact that he's a comic to justify what he's saying.
Right, and so it's good that we're moving into this age where we can like detect that shit and call it out. But it's like, well, it's I mean,
what ruins people's lives?
Well, he said not when it ruins people's lives.
Like whose lives?
Well, I don't.
Adam Carolla?
I don't want to. No, he's not worried about Adam Carolla's life. No, I'm assuming that kid's worried about like, for instance, like, and I don't. No one's defending this lady, but the African AIDS joke lady.
Oh yeah, those things are sad. Those things. I think those things are sad when someone says something.
She's not even a comedian,
right? So yeah,
I had 200 followers. She's got a bad sense of humor. Like I don't even know if she was being ironic with that joke. Like I might have made that joke on a bad day. I don't know. Like out of white guilt, right. You know. Like oh, I'm going to Africa. Don't worry about me because I'm white. Like parentheses. I feel bad that I live in a world where an entire continent is our sewer and we don't give it any federal aid and we're like you know like maybe that's what she meant. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's the Schadenfreude thing though. Two people gang up on people.
Well, I think we're like a baby like finding out.
Why'd she say that? Why'd she say that?
Well, I think it was just more the thrill of, and it's thrilling for everybody. It's just sort of like, you find out that this arm you have can like grab things, and so a baby's like just reach out for your face. Like if a baby could suddenly muster the strength of a human being, like a lot of people would lose their noses. I think that's probably where that joke comes from. Like babies believe it's possible to get your nose, and they don't mind trying. Like, but their muscles are putty, so they're just like, you know, baby just reaches out, grabs your nose as hard as it fucking can, and yanks. It's like, I wonder if I could pull this fucking thing off his face.
I don't think the baby. I just don't think that ever is the baby's
That's the internet
dialogue. What's up with this guy's face?
So like everybody, so that lady made that AIDS joke. And
walking around with that big nose on his face.
Somebody kind of for fun, like I saw a really funny joke once when it was like, I think this happened on Twitter, like when there was some astronaut going into space or something, and he was like, there was some retired astronaut that was going up into space again for like a.
Right,
some kind of nostalgic space run, and he was like an astronaut in the 70s, and then he was going back up again for some PR reason or something, or maybe he was needed up there. I don't know.
He forgot his keys.
He left his golf ball. He's like, "Where's my Titleist?" And then somebody, I think it was a tweet. It was when Twitter was first starting. Like somebody tweeted, "Quick, while he's in space, everybody put an ape mask on." So like when. That is the exact same principle that happened with this woman who made this shitty joke, and she got on an airplane for Africa, and basically somebody made the joke of like, hey, while she's in the air, let's make her famous. Let's make her shitty joke that didn't land famous. And she got off the plane in Africa and was like, wow, you're bigger than Tom Cruise. Good job on that AIDS joke, you fucking dingbat. And it's I think that everybody, every step of the way in that process probably has at least 90% of the best intentions. But the collective emergence.
Well, how about those people, did you hear about those guys? They're like 70-year-old guys and they're driving a hearse. and they and had a veteran in there, and I guess the guy ran in to get a. They had to drive for 7 hours, so they ran in and got a donut, and then this guy came out and said, "You're never supposed to leave a hearse." And these guys are in their 70s. And they got fired. They got fired because, yes, they were probably wrong, but it's, in other words, like,
why aren't you supposed to leave a hearse?
Because you're supposed to. Because if it's a veteran, and even in general with the hearses, you're never supposed
even
to.
in general with the
you're
hearses,
never supposed to stop. You're not supposed to stop at a buffet and then get back in. But and if you do,
I guess
if
it
you
seems
do,
tacky, but
if you do, you're supposed to pull around and pull. These guys are in their 70s. The guy's online. He's saying, I have no money. I'm going to starve now. Why was it that important for the other guy to expose this person? That really is Twitter and social networking. It's like when the whole Woody Allen thing was happening, people hated me because I was saying, you read a Vanity Fair article? I mean, thank God that the court of public opinion is not an actual court. You literally have never heard anything about this case, but you're basing your opinion on a Vanity. I would just.
Well, people get I mean, we get very excited, like the people when there's like a little kid that's murdered, and then there's all of us who are like, man, little kids shouldn't be murdered. I am against childs getting murdered.
He is stipulating that before he does something another.
And then there's the people who drive from out of state and like stand on the edge of the lawn with like pictures of dead babies and hold them up and go like, I know you're a murderer. Get out of there. Like that person is doing
Put that anywhere. 1983.
That person's doing that because it's hard to feel like a hero. It's like that's not running on tap in your house feeling like a hero. And so when you read in the papers that like, you know, something that's real easy to get behind happened or get behind against, we react. It's a sign of the fact that we're being deprived a healthy amount of mythology and self-satisfaction in our day-to-day lives. Like we're not going to bed at night feeling like we're good people. So like something happens on the news that's like, this kid got abducted and murdered, and it's like some people are like, that is so fucked up. That's so fucked up. Like no one else knows that's fucked up. Cool down, Steve. No, it's fucking. You don't understand. It's a fucking kid, and he's crying. I was like, what happened to Steve? Steve. Well, I'll tell you. Steve's been working for 8 years at Verizon, and he's itching for a fucking sword to pull out of a stone, and that should be a human right to feel like you're a good guy.
Well, I'll give you a perfect example. I hate this guy. I've never liked this guy, Jake Tapper. I'm obsessed with these horrible pundits. So Jake Tapper, the Democrats, it's the Democratic Party, so I don't want to get into that thing where they call them Democrats. But it's called The Democrats is their website, their Twitter thing. So they said they put out a thing, Happy Memorial Day, and then it's Obama holding an ice cream cone or whatever. And so Jake Tapper goes, respectfully, I don't believe that was an appropriate image for who in the hell is him? No better way to celebrate to memorialize Memorial Day than to criticize how other people are celebrating it. I mean, what kind of that to me is so disgusting that's what he's going to do.
That's
he's more respectful of the dead people.
We have to remember the brave men and women of the greatest generation who charged Normandy's Instagrams and really critiqued them, laid down their handles and said, "This is in bad taste. Take that, Hitler." That's how we won the war. Is by knowing when people were bad and saying so in a comment.
It's terrible. Why are you for? You have to be the guy who's for all these things. Why are you defending everything that we're talking about? Why do you want the Hearst people to lose their job?
Yeah. Why do you want?
Why do you want the AIDS lady? She's not the AIDS lady. She's the AIDS. That's what she should have done. Toured as the AIDS lady.
Yeah. She probably is.
Every 10 minutes, the crowd loses its sense of humor completely.
No, I think they're excited. They're waiting for us to bring out Spencer Crittenden. No, if you would.
I got nowhere to go.
Hey guys.
Hey Spencer. Sorry, I worked up a steam talking to Kindles.
No, it's been great conversation. It's you know, I don't want to make you feel on the spot here, Dan. Some of the finest interviewing I've seen in some days on Harmontown.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay. Thank you. Andy Spencer is our dungeon master.
Not the sex.
You know what a dungeon master is?
Dungeons and Dungeons
and the other
horses.
thing, yeah. Dungeons and horses.
Shoots and horses.
Shoots and baskets. Shoots and onion rings.
Blah blah. Something is Pac-Man. Right? Is that good?
They like it.
Does that still work?
You still got it. You still got
it. Yeah.
Hey, did you ever play anything like a D&D, role-playing game of any sort, Andy?
Someone accused me I did some pun online, and they said, "Oh, I know where you got that from. You got that from P2P. What is P2P? I don't even. No, it was the one where you kill somebody in the car.
Oh, Grand Theft Auto?
I don't know what. So
GTA.
Goes, yes, and he goes, "You got that from Grand Theft, something like that. And I said to the guy, "You're accusing me of stealing." I said, "I have never played a video game in my fucking life."
Never?
Never.
You didn't play a Frogger or a Pac-Man?
I did one. Wii doesn't count, right?
It's skee ball. You're gesturing skee ball. I did one where you roll the ball and it's like through a hole.
Look at this. It's like I'm outside now. Oh, I'm a regular golfer.
So you did play Wii one time?
One time I played Wii and I played the old ones. Like I pinball machines.
Pinballs.
Pinball machines.
The old ones. You played pinball.
An actual pinball.
This is back in
my day. You had to go to an actual pinball machine. They didn't have them on an electronic thing.
It was beyond analog. A ball rolled around. It's amazing to me that we still have pinball machines.
I'm not proud of it either. I'm not proud that I haven't played these things.
I've heard rumors. Maybe you can verify this. Is Will Ferrell like really anti-video game?
Oh, I don't know. Well, let me call him up.
I don't know. I'd heard that from Jack Black. Name droppy doop doop. I dropped a name. I'd heard
How
that.
How could you be what do you mean?
Well, he's just got everybody's got their thing, and Will Ferrell's famous for having no fucking bad.
Nothing bothers him.
He never.
He even likes Hitler.
Yeah, he's like the guy that says Chevy Chase has his moments. Like he can see the good in anything.
Oh, see, you're catching some of Kindler's mojo right now.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to make him laugh. But everybody's got to have something, Like I hate bee pollen. I heard a rumor that he just thinks that it's it rots your brain and it's a disease and
someone Yahoo it up.
I don't know if it would even be.
I signed a deal with Yahoo. Yahoo it.
The reason it came up is because we wanted him to be on some video game thing for, I don't know. Jack was hosting a video game award thing, and we were like, what if we could get Will Ferrell to come out and do this thing? And he's like, yeah, I think that might be hard. I'm Jack Black. Yow. That's a bad impression. Bad impression.
It's a pretty good impression.
I did a little karate chop because it's like holding your hair when you're doing Nicholson. I'm doing Jack Black, so I'll start kicking.
You can do a Jack Black impression.
I could try.
Put the chicken salad.
That was Wolfman Jack Black.
Yeah. I could try. Here comes ABBA with Heart of Gold. Ow! No, ABBA never did a song called Heart of Gold. Wolfman Jack would never introduce ABBA. Spencer.
Hey guys.
Well, all I do is I go, I'm Jack Black in High Fidelity. That's all I do.
Did you really sign a deal with Yahoo, Andy?
Yahoo it? No.
Yeah.
No one will sign a deal with me for anything.
Oh.
No, it sounds sad there. No, I haven't signed.
I could put in word at Yahoo.
Yeah, I'd like to be sponsored by them.
Are you satisfied
with my provider?
Well,
what's your upload speeds?
You're so outspoken and so funny and on honest ground, and you say what you feel and are unmistakably one of the a comic's comic and an audience's comic, and so incredibly funny.
Oh, thanks.
And where is your sitcom, let's run 13 episodes and then gotten canceled? Where is your crowning glory? Where are you at with your relationship with your career? Because you're like the king of this mountain that's I don't know how much higher you can get on it, but everyone respects you, and you're not Seinfeld. Like,
Right.
and so what is your relationship with that stuff?
Well, I think anybody who would say like, I mean, anything that could happen where someone said, "Here's your sitcom," I wouldn't turn it down. I mean, it's not like we all. I mean, like in my mind, I'd like to be since I was 12, I'd like to be a movie actor. You know how Louis does those faces where it's like. That's the kind of thing I did when I was 12. But the point is that I always like more. But the truth is, and this is the God's honest truth, is that I have never been the thing I love most is stand up, and it doesn't mean every night I love it, and the fact that I can pay my bills and I'm a recurring thing here or doing a little thing there. So I'm completely happy. The only thing that bothers me is when I get towards being broke.
Right.
And otherwise, I used to. Also, I don't want to fictionalize. Personally, don't want to fictionalize anything anymore. So, I don't want to be a stereo store sale. Well, that's not even exist. I don't want to be. I don't want to be. I don't want to be an exercise. The guy at the exercise studio who puts down the other exercises. Right.
Well, so. Yeah, I thought because we're friends with Drew Carey, who we watched go through. Well, we didn't watch him go through it. We met him when he was already going through it. Like, there's a dangerous game you're playing there when the highest achievement is you get a sitcom and you're like, my name's my actual name. But I work at an ad firm, but it's really me, and so your identity. I remember Drew had expressed this at one point. It's like, then you get canceled, and it's you, but it's not you. It never was you.
Drew, when everybody was watching the Drew Carey show, that meant the world loved Drew Carey. They call it. I love Drew Carey. I love it. They're talking about the show, but it's also his first and last name. And then when people stop watching Drew Carey and stop liking Drew Carey, that's tough emotional ground.
Yeah. I also think the truth is, and this is the truth to me, is that you really can't control. That's why I like Oprah when they would do these actual ancient, Eastern ideas, but they would misappropriate them, like you create your own reality. Well, that doesn't work if you're Jewish and it means you wanted to go in a concentration camp. You know what I mean? It's like people. No, what I'm saying is, I'm just saying the Jews did not want to go into a concentration camp. So if you just think you create your own reality, that's a misunderstanding. But you do put your own energy in the world, and you can control what you do sometimes, but you can't always control what the end result is. So I'm comfortable that I just don't know what's going to happen, and that wouldn't discount anything.
Right.
I wouldn't do a show called The Drew Carey Show. I don't know why
that's off the table.
That's off the table.
Even though you don't respect copyright law, but that's not the reason. You just wouldn't do it out of craftsmanship.
Yes.
It's like it's been done and you don't want to do it.
I'm a stickler. I'm not. They pitched me Seinfeld.
That's your show. That's your show.
Seinfeld.
The Stickler.
The Stickler.
I'm the Stickler.
Andy Stickler. The Andy Stickler Show.
But Andy Kindler is the Stickler.
Yeah. Hey, you're not getting that right.
That's you in the round window underneath. Andy Kindler is the Stickler, and then you pop up. Boop. Hey, you're not getting that right.
It's apostrophe S.
Yeah, he comes in and
In the words of Edwin Newman. Anyone? But I would like. Sometimes I think I'd like to do a talk show. I did a thing called Kindler Television, which I should probably put online because no one bought it. But and so I have ideas. But
I'm going to ask a question that's.
Did we cut you off, or what's the deal?
What? I'm just quiet.
Okay.
We're gonna play a game with him in a second, and you're captive of it. But do you have a podcast? That's like saying, what's your sign in the 70s?
This is a true story. By the way, one story I was saying, this absolute true story. One night I'm home and I'm watching Conan, and Warren Thomas comes on. And I'm not lying about this. A joke bombs. I'm eating seriously. I'm eating cereal, cold cereal, whenever time of night that Conan came on, right? In the old days. And he goes, a joke bombs, and Warren goes, "Oh, I'm entering Andy Kindlerville."
Whoa!
I jump for joy at home.
That's praise from Caesar, man.
So great. So back in the old days, Audible.com. Before there were podcasts,
the way you said that is like Audible.com.
Hello? a little company called Audible.com, and that company became Waze. They before podcasts they said, "Would you like to do?" I couldn't, but no one had a podcast. I couldn't conceive of what am I going to talk to myself. So had I come up with it then, that was the time to do it. Now I pride myself on being a guest on podcasts.
This isn't an exit, but you can come work out your shit here anytime you want, and have a relationship with them. Like come out and talk for a while and leave anytime you want. And we love you. I love you.
Thank you so much. This is great. Why are you motioning me towards the door?
I'm not, because I actually am dying to see you play Shadowrun with us. You can't. You can leave, but I would very much like you to stay.
I will say this, and just on the tail of that applause, one thing's for certain: I don't know a comic that I have any respect for that doesn't respect you, and that's and in the world of comedians where people can be competitive and dark and have their own shit and stuff like that. It's like,
name one person that would go, oh yeah, I'll have a comedy contest with Andy Kindler. Like there's no, we don't typically speak in that language.
Andy, I remember seeing you. Do you remember the Onyx Cafe that was on?
I absolutely do. It was across the street from Pedro's Grill, right? Or around there?
Just up the road.
Up the road,
on Vermont. It's gone
By the
now.
way, thanks for saying that, man. It means so much to me.
There was a tiny little coffee house, and I don't think I talked about this. We completely just filleted you on a show a while back where we talked about how much we loved you for a half hour. But there was this tiny little coffee house, and there was never more than 20 people in there. And it was run by Josh DiDonato. Remember him?
Oh, my God, yeah.
And this was a guy that started putting an actual fucking egg timer on the stage. And he would set it, like, so if you went over your 2 minutes... I remember Jeremy Kramer kicking it like a football, and it went like 50 yards. It was great. But you came out, and I don't believe you did anything that resembled material at all. You just riffed a guy in the front row the entire goddamn time. There was a guy that had an outfit on, and the joke was, it was not a preposterous outfit. You just gave this guy the business about his shirt, and it was a perfectly acceptable shirt, but you just gave him shit.
Perfectly acceptable shirt.
And you just stormed this. The stage was like a really like smaller than the Meltdown stage, like probably by half. A little tiny piece of like wood on wooden blocks. And you just stormed around it like General Patton, and we were just fucking apoplectic laughing. And also, whether it was that night or another night, there was these two guys came in. We heard guitars playing up the street, and they came down the road and came in, and it was Jack Black and Kyle Gass, and no one had ever heard of them before.
I remember this night. I remember that.
And I asked Jack about it, and I said, I saw you play at the Onyx Cafe, and he goes, that was our first show.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
do you remember how funny that bit they were doing was?
Yeah, they came in again.
Wow.
Like, you came in there and you absolutely just dominated. And then, I don't know who was on first, you or them, but they came in, they stood back to back and strumming the fuck out of these acoustic guitars and circled around. And they sang, what's the song? This is not the best song in the world. Tribute. They fucking sang Tribute, and it was their first fucking show. And Sarah Silverman, I think Paul F. Tompkins that was maybe one of his first shows in LA, and he had a shitty, rumpled ass, ill-fitting suit, and now he's like sartorial fucking mastery. But that was a magical.
We
time.
had a great. I mean, that was unbelievable.
It was all the quote unquote independent and indie comics that came down from the Bay Area. Were you Bay Area?
No, I'm from. It's a long. Well, not that long a story. I'm from Queens, and I moved here.
Right.
Don't get me started. No, I started here. I came out to be a musician. I started comedy here just because I would have had to have left to start in a smaller town. But I knew all those guys because I used to play Laughs Unlimited in Sacramento.
It was so magical.
It was an amazing time.
I remember that moment of like being there. Fred Belford, our friend, took me there, and we sat there. And I'm not a stand-up comic, but everybody there was either up-and-comers, or there were people that like, oh, you have to see this guy. This person's from, or this gal, like this is Jeanine Garofalo. This is Margaret Cho. There's like these people that they've heard of. Everything in there was so fucking magical, and the host was kind of a Looney Tunes.
Yeah, he really was crazy.
But there was you and Jeremy Kramer and it was Harlan Williams and fucking. It was so goddamn.
And Bob Odenkirk's stand-up.
Yeah.
Amazing stand-up.
That was a magical time, and then I told them a little bit. You did a show called Hacks.
you gave me a smile like,
hello.
Like you and I both know Bob Odenkirk's full of shit.
Anyway, there was that magical moment when you go like, oh, like I'm allowed to like stand-up again, because stand-up had this giant explosion in the 80s where everybody that thought they were mildly entertaining stood in front of a brick wall and bummed you the fuck out.
But you can't knock that generation, because I mean, like, it became very like it was very strange. It was like Judy Tenuta and our friend Bobcat Goldthwait, and like there was the character comedy started happening. It was like there was this huge pressure on comedians to like come out and like it was like Star Search, you know, like you gotta fucking like blow, like what's your deal? Are you the guy with the penis for a head? Are you the guy with dice on his neck? Or you know, like is your name Jacques Van Schlackendock? And you know, and then the 90s, it was like this. It was the grunge thing. It was it was like but you transcend all of that because you don't wear flannel and never have.
I wore acid wash jackets in the late 80s. It's the most depressing thing. But I will say one thing right now. I think right now is an amazing time period for comedy right now. I really do.
Great.
Because people are actually going out.
These guys are fans of Right Now.
But like
I love Right Now.
Adomian, Hannibal Buress. There's so many amazing. It's pretty cool.
Who are you naming? What's the
James Adomian.
Oh yeah, he was on last week.
So
he came on and did a Bernie Sanders impression for 3 hours. It was great.
It was amazing.
And Hannibal Buress. I mean, there's just so many names and people like Todd Glass, who was always hilarious, and it's just amazing. I don't know. It's just like
let's not forget Jeff Dunham.
He's great.
Like,
he's not racist.
Following
the puppet's racist.
Carlos Mencia is really hitting his stride right now.
Yes.
Is Demorge Brown out there?
Demorge, you with us?
I don't think I usually see him lingering.
No Demorge tonight. Should we just do a
if Demorge is listening, usually I see you lingering.
Why don't we?
I don't know if that's a note.
Dan, Spencer, let me know what you think. We're running a little bit late here.
But we always start late too.
Why don't we? But let's maybe just play a very small, lean and mean shadow run with just the three of us, maybe. Or do you want to bring somebody else up to play another character? Does that muddy the waters?
I can play a very old man.
Well, I think we should. I think we should in honor of Mad Max Fury Road, we should get a non-sexualized strong female lead to come up and play Erin McGathy's character. Preferably someone with a robot arm. Or
do we have a strong female lead to play Hannah the seamstress?
Oh yeah, Hannah the seamstress.
Hannah the seamstress.
Hannah the seamstress.
She's earned it by sewing.
Hannah, by the way, that's no small favor you did for me. I really appreciate you putting the button back on my thing.
It's okay. I learned how to sew recently.
I mean, I can do it too, but I know I've sewn many buttons. I've ripped many buttons off. I can do this. I love to sew, and I do it quite often, but I appreciate you doing that for me.
All right, Kindler. So, Hannah, have you seen the show before?
I haven't listened.
You gotta eat the mic.
Eat that mic, baby.
Eat the mic.
Yeah,
it's not omnidirectional.
And when I said baby, I meant baby in the Sammy Davis Jr. way. That's omni-gender. Like I didn't mean like baby.
I didn't even hear the baby.
Oh, okay, good. Well, and I didn't even say it. That's how feminist I am.
When I called you a skirt, I meant it in the
eat that
like
mic, sugar.
Yeah.
I call everyone sugar.
Like a throwback.
Everyone's sweet to me.
He's got two of them.
I got two somehow.
Yeah. So in this manila folder, there's like a piece of paper with a bunch of statistics on it.
Okay. Numbers and keywords.
This is your character. It's as if you've been dropped into the world's most academically intense murder mystery night. You do not need to know any of this stuff. Who are you? What's your name? You probably don't even know that. Yeah.
Oh, I'm Kumail Nanjiani.
Oh. Which is that character?
That's Dr. Friend.
Oh, Dr. Friend. Okay, so you're like a doctor. Who are you, Hannah?
Mary O'Donnell.
Right.
Mercy
O'Donnell. Okay.
Like
so you're Erin's character. You've never heard us play the game, Hannah. So you said okay. So she's like a boy.
She's our negotiator.
Okay.
Like she's kind of
our
like
face
the,
man.
Yeah,
like she makes the deals and she's got power over other people's
She's
minds.
super charming. Very like she has the ability to con and kind of like negotiate, wheel and deal.
Okay, good because I'm a Libra, so it's good.
And
right.
Dr. Friend is kind of like the mob doctor archetype. Like you're a doctor.
Oh, but so nothing to do with Kumail.
Well, Kumail often plays him.
Oh, okay.
Very often.
Then why does it say Kumail then? Where's the doctor's
Kumail
name?
played him once, twice, a couple times.
Oh yeah, Kumail. Like he's.
Yeah, so
a master.
Andy, the important thing is don't get too bogged down in the statistics and the numbers and things like that. Like your weapons are in there, and your.
I got you.
Just like say one of the words you see in the sheet and be confused about it.
Okay.
So
But I'm a doctor, though. I'm an evil doctor.
See, he's doing it.
Yeah.
I'm an evil doctor. I will kill you with my chemical protection force.
Yeah,
That's how you do it.
Andy, we're basically like kind of a cyberpunk A team out, like kind of like out doing capers and stuff like that for the underworld in the future.
And we're
got it.
active players in a narrative that he's in charge of. If he says something happens, it happens. He tells us where we are and what we're, and we tell him what we want to do next when he asks us, basically.
All right, Spencer,
And then
do we
he
have-
tells us the results based on systems that he understands and cheats about.
It's like improvising.
We have to. We're yes. We're yes ending it.
Go ahead.
right?
Yeah,
yes
absolutely.
End.
Yeah.
Yes, and it sounds like fun.
Spencer, do you have a guest recapper for us?
Yeah, this one's by James Johnson.
All right, fake name. Here we go. Wrong
Okay, all
song.
right.
Last time on Harmon Run, the gang stages a modified circle jerk to initiate their new teammate. That's it.
Oh, that's right. Okay, that's what we did.
James Johnson.
And our new teammate is called what again?
What's up?
What's our new teammate's name again?
Hack Eye.
Hack Guy, of course, and he's kind of like a techno
hacker.
It's like a technomancer.
technomancer, right? All right, so
You guys, you're in Hank's Last Stand, the bar. You just got this job to infiltrate Mind Plus Limited. It's a hospital. To infiltrate the hospital and retrieve data research for your employer.
and our employer is who? Or that's just the Johnson.
It's the Johnson.
All right.
Particularly, we're looking for data related to the Billy Baldwin BTL chips. Or
Yeah.
Is that,
Yes, that data.
all right. You kind of smiled like I was wrong.
Well, Billy Baldwin BTL chips is just a great thing to say.
All right, Baldwin Brown.
When I get the Billy Baldwin BTL chips, I will have achieved my goal. I am a doctor. I will induce terrible pain.
No, doctor, do no harm. First, do no harm.
I will just a moderate amount of pain.
Okay, fair enough. Do we have a location for the Mind Plus Limited?
Yeah, you have an address on
All right.
the map.
I call an Uber.
All right, you do that. It arrives outside.
Let's load up, everybody. Lock and load.
Mercy, how's it going?
It's all right.
We may need you to go into the front of the hospital and kind of do some front stuff for us.
Oh, is it because I have exceptional charisma?
Yeah, that's the reason.
It's not because I'm a woman, right? No.
No, God, no. No. Have you seen Mad Max? No.
I cannot. The Uber driver is telling me that he has no place to store my mystic armor. What would I do? What shall I do? I certainly hope this voice stops. No. Women. Does not compute.
Maybe you should just wear the mystic armor and.
Oh, here's the mystic. Oh, it's really got it back from the cleaner.
All right, well, guys, remember, I think we found out that there was lots of sensors, vibration sensors, and all sorts of like security and stuff like that when we get in there.
At this place?
Yeah.
Oh.
Right?
Are you
Spencer?
James Johnson?
Right.
No, I'm Eve Libertine. I'm an elf magician.
To talk very matter of factly.
Well, that's all. It's just business.
I thought acting involved making a choice.
That's good. Yeah, usually my guy talks like this. Yeah.
Well, then I shall be the counterpoint with my Stan baton.
I agree with my chameleon suit. All right.
Thank you, Mumblecore.
I send out a I summon a butterfly that's gonna fly out ahead of us and just kind of go in through the door and probably not trip any sensors, just fly around and give us some recon inside this Mind Plus Limited.
All right. You summon a butterfly, but it takes substantial drain. You feel your resources being drained as you cast this magic from your body, but there it is, a butterfly.
Butterfly. Are we close to the Mind Plus Limited?
Oh yeah, you're close. You're about 5 minutes off.
All right, we're here.
Why did I think it was a hospital? Did it?
It is a hospital.
Okay.
Keep it down, you circle jerks. They'll find out that we're here. Just wanted to use circle jerks.
All right, so I tell the butterfly to fly in and get the lay of the land and find out, like, just give us some recon.
All right, it does so.
Do you have to talk to the butterfly? To do that?
I have a spiritual mental link to it.
So you don't. Okay.
I mean, if I do it, it would be in.
So we just see you like.
When I summon a butterfly, of course, I hold my hands up and my Comanche war club in the air, and I am overcome with a blue glow. And then out of my butt, a butterfly goes. Poof. It's a butterfly. What?
Aha!
Does it go through stuff?
Yeah. It's a spirit. It can
So we don't have to-
dematerialize.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like heart.
Art?
They did a song about the butterfly.
Oh, heart.
Okay, so guys, I have a butterfly that's going in there to fly around and get us some recon.
It does that and then returns.
Butterfly, what did you learn?
I learned it's a hospital in there. They got a waiting room. You know, they got multiple floors.
Great butterfly. Nice going. Could have done that on my own.
Various surgical operations.
Did you see any defenses? Anything we have to worry about?
Oh, I saw some, cameras and guards.
Okay.
You have a strange accent for a butterfly.
Spencer, how much drain did I take on that?
3 boxes of non-lethal.
Oh, boy.
I think, what are we looking for? We're looking for, like, data. So we gotta find their data room.
Right.
Did your butterfly see any data rooms?
Butterfly, did you see a data room?
I saw no data room. There was some sort of security room towards the top, but that just, had cameras and a chair.
Okay.
I think that's where we want to go.
I think we send Mercy in first. Just like let's just do this like a straight
Yeah.
Let her work her charm.
I'll grapple up onto the roof and find a vent.
Okay. You use your feminine wiles.
Okay, I got this. I have a key card copier, so I can maybe make a copy of the keys that maybe the guard has.
Oh, if you can pinch one, yeah.
See if I can get it with my exceptional charisma.
Holy shit! Nice work.
I see. You can come in. Okay, I'm a stealthy guy, so I'll fake a seizure or something, and you bring me in like a person, and
I'll use my exceptional charisma, and you can sneak in.
and I'll try to see if I can pinch a card.
Here, take my card copier, and so you can copy the card.
I'll make the sound effects.
He's got the card copier now.
I will cast a spell. I will cast a spell. The spell will be the physical barrier. I will create a dome and or wall of magical energy that will keep us invisible. Or something.
If I'm invisible, I can't use my exceptional charisma.
Oh, don't be funnier than me! I'm enraged!
Maybe you could come along and use your doctor expertise to make it seem more legitimate.
Call me. You should have doctor credentials on it. Yeah, if you guys go in together and you're faking a seizure, this will all look legit.
Right.
I'm a doctor, Jim, not an opposite profession.
All right.
Call me Bones.
I'm going to astrally project inside from outside, like in a safe place. I'm going to astrally project inside so I can kind of keep an eye out.
All right. Try to get me Well, I'll try to. I mean, my goal is to get near a security guard because I'm going to see if I can pickpocket a card
I'm
off.
gonna scream about my moderate egg allergy, and I think that'll make enough of a distraction.
Oh, you're going to scream about.
Yeah, but with my charisma, people will come and help.
Wait, no. I
exceptional
thought you were helping
charisma.
him pretend to be sick.
I thought. Oh, you're pretending to be sick. I thought you were.
Do you want to
sneaking.
pretend to be sick?
I thought I was gonna distract them while you got the key.
Right.
I'll give you a doctor's note.
Okay, how about this? Dr. Friend.
Yes.
Dr. Friend, take Mercy in. She has say she's got an egg allergy.
no.
She's having an anaphylactic shock.
She's the charming one, though.
Oh, right. She has to.
I'll just show my boobs and be charming.
Me too.
Okay, we got this.
Oh, sorry. Too real.
You're sick too.
Oh, yeah, no. I say, Mercy, you go and use your charm. Bring him in.
Okay.
Nightblade, you pretend to be sick. Dr. Friend, you're going to be there to make it all look legit.
Okay.
And
I believe I believe that everything I look legitimate. The roof has whooping cough.
That's good. All right, let's do it.
Yeah.
Here we go.
All right.
We're not doing it. We're starting it.
We're going in.
Oh, here we go.
We're going in.
Help! Help! My friend is sick. He's got a seizure.
It is true. I have examined him. I am Dr. Friend. It is true.
I am exceptionally charismatic. You should listen to us.
Open your mouth and say ah.
He already took his temperature. It was really high.
Wait, I didn't hear you guys. Aren't you still in the car though?
We walked in. We walked in. All right, good tech rehearsal, guys. All right,
guys,
here we go.
We open in 2 nights.
I must check your boobs with my stethoscope. I forgot the stethoscope.
All right, let's go in and try it. Here we go. We're gonna go in to the front door.
Okay.
This is what we're doing. All right, 1, 2, 3.
Break.
Help! Help! My friend is having a seizure, and I am exceptionally charismatic.
Yes. She's a dish. All right. Let us in or something.
He's a doctor.
We mean no harm. I can show you my Hippocratic oath.
He needs access to doctor stuff.
What are you doing?
I'm having a seizure.
Oh, he's having a seizure. Look at this man. He has the least convincing case of epilepsy I've ever seen in my life.
I don't want to be offensive. I don't want to nail it.
He has dog panting syndrome.
Even though I'm astrally projecting, I turn to one of the security cameras and do a camera take and go.
Yeah, look at these idiots.
Okay. So you're doing all these things, and the receptionist person in the waiting area is extremely alarmed. It's like, is there a doctor? Oh, we need help.
Oh, sorry.
Wait,
not yet, right?
No. This is exactly what we need.
I'm a doctor. I can help. Well, would I not be a doctor if I said I was?
I don't really follow the line of questioning.
You just can't walk around saying you're a doctor.
It's a fair point. Well, that's perfect because, I mean, this is a clinic primarily for transplantation of cyber limbs. We don't really deal with seizures.
This man is dying. Comedically. Can you?
I show him my.
Well, you're the doctor. What should we do?
Cyber arm. I point at my cyber arm and I kind of twitch it because I have a cyber arm.
I must take him into surgery immediately.
And I make the hatch on my arm that has my gun in it, like I twitch or something to indicate like cyber
It's a
twitching.
cyber
twitch.
Cyberlepsy.
Right. He has cyberlepsy. That's not a gun. Don't worry.
All right, that's the most horrible case of cyberlepsy I've seen in quite some time.
Are you the receptionist?
What?
Are you the receptionist?
Yeah.
You are really not good at your job. How'd you get this job? Obamacare, am I right, people? Am I wrong? Thank you.
Well, we need to get you guys, to some sort of room, probably.
Yes. Exactly my thoughts.
Guards. 6 guards appear. Take them towards C. Beta.
Any of these guards visibly have any credentials on them, like that kind of thing?
They have guard credentials.
Like on their belts, or what's the deal?
It's part of their bulletproof vest is like a number that's projecting a sort of identification hologram.
Does it? I mean, if I were to ask you, how do I steal that?
You take the breast thing.
Take the whole vest?
Yeah, the vest. That's what it is.
Okay.
Many epileptics sing in a cartoon-like way.
Sparrows with Capistrano.
You arrive in the
non-copyright.
Quick! Someone who knows what we're doing, jump in.
You guys are doing great.
Where are we going? Now?
They're taking you to the room Ward C or whatever.
You're in the room now. You've arrived. 2 of the guards stay inside, but the rest go on their merry way out the door.
I've never seen anybody go on a merry way.
All right. Well, this is the next thing I'm going to attempt, and it's going to get sloppy. I'm gonna stun as many of them as I can. I'm gonna stun one of them and hope the other 2 get the hint. I mean, the other 2 of my friends.
Spencer, real quick, can I materialize from my astral projection, or do I have to walk in?
Well, no, you have to walk in.
Okay.
I mean, you're probably still your corporeal body is probably still in the Uber, I think.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Which is a good thing.
We should have gone with Lyft. Sorry, I always panic.
All right, take it, Nightblade.
I'm gonna stun baton one.
All right, you go in for the stun baton. It works. You hit the guard right in the unprotected nape of his neck. That's not where you... Some other part of his neck. He goes down, twitching and shocking like he has cyberlepsy. The other guard draws his pistol. It's just a pistol, though.
That's when I use my monocle. My monocle somehow comes into play.
You have a monocle?
I certainly do. And 3 flashbangs.
Your monocle has 3 flashbangs?
No, it's a separate item.
Do you have a weapon you could use on him, like to stun him or knock him out?
Thank you for reminding me.
Yes.
Throw 3 tear gas grenades.
No. You guys, you're all in the room together.
We're all going. If one of us goes, we all go.
Tear gas pours into the room.
Here's the antidote. The antidote. It will help all of you recover from the poisoning.
I don't know if that's on your sheet there, though.
Antidote.
Oh, is it?
Helps target recover from poisoning.
Oh, that's a spell. Okay.
Oh, okay. Forget that then.
Do you want to cast it?
Is that a spell he can cast? It can work just on his face.
Everyone falls to the floor choking and crying.
I have medicine. I will use medicine. I have a log of medicine. 6 logs. I have medicinal. Take these medicinal herbs. Take these Striclix. You get a drug dealer in here. Okay, I admit now that was the wrong move. I'm a doctor, not a thinker.
You just threw 3 tear gas cans in the room that you're in.
So I guess I take the medicinal herbs.
Okay. I mean, okay.
What about that spell you mentioned? Antidote.
Yes. Oh, I left it. Did I say I had an antidote? Oh, no, a spell. I will now place a spell on you. Oh, it will when I ring-a-ding-ding, rag-a-da-boom. Some people won't suffer from tear gas in this room.
They want.
That's how you cast a spell?
That sounded like they wanted to end the show.
Oh, you don't want to tell? Oh, all right.
Yeah, okay, it works.
Sounds like you want to end the show.
Well, I mean, I don't know. You cast an antidote. It works.
It works on everybody?
Yeah. Jim Nightblade recovers the use of his eyes, his cyber eyes. He wasn't really afflicted, I guess.
Well, tear gas affects more than eyes.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Your nasal passages ease.
So I stun baton the other guy, I guess, the other guard.
He goes down. He's crying on the floor.
All right.
Am I okay? Or
No,
am I
you're still in great pain.
Get Ben Stein on the phone and bring him clear eyes.
I have a med kit. You guys should probably use it. Can they use my med kit?
Oh, totally.
Is that like a fanny pack?
Yeah, it is. It's the fanny pack I'm wearing.
Oh,
the
okay.
med kit.
How are we going to get all this tear gas out of the room?
I think you just need to steal the key card. I mean, I guess
I definitely.
Ow, my eyes.
A smoke screen. That's what I meant to do. It was a smoke screen. So close. So close. Cliffhanger.
All right, there we go. Thank you, Andy Kindler, for coming, joining us. Thank you, Hannah, for sewing and helping. You know everybody else.
Spencer Crittenden, everybody. I'm Jeff Davis, your comptroller. Your mayor, one more time, is Mr. Dan Harmon. Thank you for coming. Happy Memorial Day. Drive fast. Take chances.
Thank you so much.